a lot of people come to Taiwan and expect to be able to do and say and act the way they do at home. Flew over and went, oh my God, I made a mistake. One of the many beautiful things about Taiwan. And my wife gave me some good advice. She goes, either drive the way they do or park it. There was no street crime for many, many, many years. At that very moment, my destiny was sealed. I was going to be in Formosa, in Taiwan.
Hi, 大家好，欢迎来 Welcome to Taiwan。今天我们跑去到台北，跟我们美国朋友聊天。影片开始以前，请不要忘记订阅、按赞、开启小铃铛。谢谢大家。
What do your friends call you?
拉面。
Say again?
拉面 the noodle.
拉面.
Yeah.
Okay, what's boy say?
That's my kind of family name. My grandparents call me Boy.
Yeah.
And C is the last phrase of my surname.
Oh,
so
cool.
that my surname is Jaju C.
Whoa, cool.
So I used the name Boy from my grandparents.
Okay.
And added to C. So my mom, dad, all my family call me Boy.
Okay, I'm not going to call you boy.
Yeah,
unless
so,
you're my boy. How about that?
Yeah. In Taiwan, people call me Lamien, the noodle Lamien.
Okay.
Because my English name is Lamin.
Okay.
And I love Lamien.
All right.
So that's why the name Lamien.
Yeah, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
My name is Tony Taylor. I came to Taiwan February 21st, 1984. I had been living in Honolulu, Hawaii for 6 years doing radio and TV over there. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, way down south. I don't talk like I'm from down there anymore, but I retired a few years ago. But these days I'm a musician. I play piano, sing, mostly blues, old rock and roll stuff. Yeah, just having a good time, living my life best I can.
A solo musician or you are in a band?
I have a band called the Tony Taylor Band, believe it or not. And a bunch of guys from all over the planet.
So why do you choose to come to Taiwan?
Back in 1980, I was in Hawaii working at radio station KIKI. They just made me program director. And through a twist of fate, I left that radio station and went across town and worked for 93Q. And one day I'm on the air and I get a call from the intercom. The lady at the front desk says, you have a long distance international call from Craig Quick. Do you want to talk to him? I said, yeah, put him on. So I say, hey, Craig, how you doing, man? He goes, hey, man, long time no see. I said, where are you now? He goes, I'm over here in Taipei, Taiwan. I go, where the hell is that? And I say, well, what are you doing over there? He goes, we're running an English language radio network here. It used to be Armed Forces Network Taiwan, went back in the military there, post-Vietnam War. Wow, that sounds interesting. What do you want me to do? He goes, I want you to be the program director for ICRT. Let's make it a great radio station. And I said, well, what are you going to pay me? He gave me a number. I said, after a little back and forth, a few extra phone calls, we worked it out. And I said, okay, I got to go get a passport. I don't even have a passport. So I got a passport, flew over, and went, oh my God, I made a mistake. I left Hawaii. It was beautiful, 80-something degrees, sunshine, even though it was in February. I got here, it was cold, rainy, February. And I said, man, what have I gotten myself into? So I knew it was a work in progress, so I just knuckled down and we did it. And it took about a year, at least a year, to get everything up to standards, broadcast standards for the world. This was before computers even were brought into broadcasting, before cell phones. So it was an interesting time, but we made it work. We brought us some great talent. We just made it a great international radio station, and people loved it. The music was great during that time, during that era. A lot of rock and roll, a lot of good voices, a lot of good talent, and it was a lot of fun.
Do you still follow the progress of RCRT?
Every now and then, but not really. I'm retired. I still listen to them occasionally and go, wow, that's weird. Or that's good, whatever the situation is.
All right, hearing the name Taiwan, coming here for the first time, what were your expectations?
When I was a kid, my mom and dad gave me a birthday present, a little transistor radio, right? And I loved that thing. This is before I even thought about getting in radio. And one day I flipped it over, and there was a little label that said, "Made in Formosa." Formosa was the old Portuguese name for Taiwan. At that very moment, my destiny was sealed. I was going to be on the radio in Formosa, in Taiwan.
All right, in 1984, how was Taiwan compared to now?
When I first got here, it was under martial law. The military controlled everything. The government controlled everything. There were no pubs. There were some bars, but they were mostly confined to the international hotels. And even I learned later that there was a place where young adults could get together and perform music. There was no alcohol sales, can't smoke. This was a place called Idea House, and that was 50 years ago. My brother-in-law, Stan Lai, was involved, and Chris Young. They were the first people that were exposing younger people to folk music. And it was a great opportunity for young people with some talent. They wanted to get up and be entertainers, and eventually some of them got into the record business. They got into making hit songs, and so it was a big boiling pot of ideas and talent and creativity that was happening in Taiwan. And ICRT became a part of that mix. We were exposing, especially young people, to Western music, not only American, but international. Kids had never heard before, so it was a big eye-opening experience for them.
Coming from a Western culture into an Asian culture, what surprises you most?
A lot of people come to Taiwan and expect to be able to do and say and act the way they do at home, and then they're abruptly shown you can't act that way. People here are basically nice, except for that event that we had just a couple of days ago at the Taipei main train station. Some idiot. We don't have to worry about him anymore. He won't be causing any more problems. But for the most part, there was no street crime for many, many, many years. I can't recall the times I left my phone sitting somewhere, and I go out and I'm like, oh man, I left my phone. I walk back, it's still there. Yeah, I lost my wallet a couple times, got it back. Police called my house, told my wife, said, we found your husband's wallet, can you come pick it up? And that's what's one of the many beautiful things about Taiwan, is their people. When I moved to Hawaii in 1978, it was my first experience outside continental United States. And I'd known, we had a couple of Korean families that grew up in my area. So I was used to seeing Asian people, but not on the scale of what I saw here in Taiwan. But in Hawaii, a lot of Filipinos, a lot of Samoans, Fijians, Hawaiian people, of course, and a lot of international people doing business there. And a lot of people come to Hawaii to vacation. So that exposed me to the Asian culture to a small degree. I thought I understood Chinese food. I thought Chinese food in Hawaii was, man, it was good. Not so. So when I first came to Taiwan, I started eating cho tofu. You ever had that?
Yeah,
Stinky tofu. Oh man, it's delicious. When I smelled it, no man, no way. I'm not eating that. Try it, brother. It's delicious. Once you get over the smell of it, man.
And how is it like being a foreigner in Taiwan back then?
Completely different. I learned how to speak some Chinese. I married a local lady, and we met, fell in love, got married. It'll be 41 years next February.
Wow.
She hasn't killed me yet. But back then, people were very conservative.
During your stay here, what's your most difficult challenge that you've overcome or yet to overcome?
Well, language, for one thing. 我可以说中文小一点点. But now with technology, you can have, now there's a new one, you can put, it's like a watch. Anytime you want to talk to a different language with someone, you just tell it what language you want to speak, and you speak it in your language, and it will translate it to their language, and it will actually speak it out. So the language these days is not a big issue. Driving, don't get me started. I bought a car, I started driving, I said, man, these people are crazy. And my wife gave me some good advice. She goes, either drive the way they do or park it. That was a big mistake, because I started driving the way they drive. Other than foreigners like to drink, and sometimes alcohol makes people do funny things, right, crazy things. I was in a bar one time many years ago in Tien Mu. Won't say the bar's name, but some gangsters came in, and the gangsters have been around in Taiwan for quite a long time. They usually keep to themselves, but this time they didn't. We were in this bar throwing darts, and I was with my buddy, Randy. Randy's a former NFL football player. So we were playing darts, and this young kid in a nice suit walks over to me and goes, do you know who my boss is? I said, nope, don't know him. Sorry, I'm playing darts. Gotta go. I started playing darts, and he left me alone for a couple of minutes. He came back and said, so you don't know who my boss is? I said, excuse me. I walked over to the boss and said, hi, I'm Tony Taylor. I'm with ICRT. How you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? He doesn't speak English. Just sitting there drinking his drink. I said, oh, sorry to bother you. I'm going to go back and play darts. So I go back. And the guy comes over one more time. So I said, look, son, I don't know and I don't care. Okay? He grabs a Heineken bottle, breaks it on the bar, points it at me. I say, hey, Randy, come here. Randy comes over. He's 6'4", 6'5". Is there a problem here? And the guy points it at Randy. And Randy goes, he starts to walk around. This is the best defensive thing you could do if somebody's coming at you. Put your hands out like that. And there was an Englishman who was here building trains. The kid comes over close, he just headbutts him. He goes down. The other kid gets up, and they start causing problems. They start throwing glasses and ripping things off the wall. And the manager of the place, they call the cops, and the big guy, he gets off, gets in his BMW and drives away. And the cops asked the manager, did you want to press charges against these guys? We know who this guy is. And they said, no, not really. They didn't want to upset the gangsters, right? I said, I will. The guy tried to kill me. So I went up to the police station. They're not stupid, right? But gangsters are not stupid. They know they're going to get caught. And as I'm filling out my name and address, the guy's looking at my address. I said, does he have to see my address? Does he have to look at this? But nothing ever became of it. I got to do a TV show here with a very famous guy. His name is Gu Gua. The show was called Jingchu Longhu Bang, Dragon Tiger Chart, something like that. And now I did that for almost 5 years. After the first show, I could not walk out of the house and people going, who's that guy? I found out what being famous was. And it's scary. It's very scary. And a lot of people can't handle it.
What do you have in the US that you wish you have it here in Taiwan?
I went to Thailand for a couple of years and rebuilt a radio station in Bangkok. That was fun. Then I went back to America for 4 years. I got my license to sell real estate, 2006, 2007. And the real estate market in America went in the toilet. I came back to Taiwan. My wife said, come home. And I knew I had to start losing weight. Started riding a bicycle. I started walking, swimming, boring. I started riding a bicycle and rode a bicycle for quite some time. Lost 50 pounds and got skin cancer because I had the wrong glasses on. Yeah, the skin cancer is easy cure. They got rid of it.
You
have
have
real estate
real
license
estate in America.
Yeah.
Why didn't you
Why
pursue that?
you didn't pursue that career in Taiwan?
My language skills are not good enough to get a license here. So getting any kind of license is a good thing. It doesn't mean you're going to be successful at it, but it means you know enough to be able to do what you did. And my mom and dad were in real estate for many, many, many years. And real estate, it's a tricky thing. It's all in who you know. And a lot of people go to church. There's a lot of people that, if you know a lot of people at church, everybody talks, oh, buy a house from him. Oh, yeah, she knows. Go buy that. Your circle of friends has to be very large to be successful at it.
If someone is to get into the radio business, what advice would you have for them?
My first cell phone was this big. It was about that big around, and the antenna was up here, weighed like 5 pounds, like carrying around a brick. You know, I could use it as a weapon if I needed it. But now with your phone, you can go anywhere you want to go, see anything you want to see, talk to anybody you want to talk to. What do you need radio for?
Do you have anything else to tell Taiwanese people?
Well, we all know the girls are beautiful. Taiwan is a beautiful place. Prime example sitting right over there. It's a beautiful place. There's beauty everywhere you look. It's amazing how the computer industry has helped Taiwan to grow. I did a voiceover thing for TSMC years ago when computer chips were just being manufactured. I think they were in their 4th or 5th year. And it was amazing what I learned from that corporate video that I did for them. And way to go, TSMC and all the other companies here that are doing computers. And now they're moving to US. Yeah, who knows? The future is there for us to grow. Don't get sick and die. I guess that's my biggest advice to everybody.
Thank you very much for giving us
It's my pleasure,
time,
brother.
sharing your life experience in Taiwan.
Thank
and
you.
Hope you continue to enjoy.
Thank you, sir. Anytime I could do a favor for you, you let me know.
Okay.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Gansia ni sokan. Yo si Juan to si Juan. Don't forget to let us know what part of the video we can improve. And see you in my next video. Thank you.